สวัสดีทุกคนยินดีต้อนรับสู่รายการ Inside the Studio หรือว่าในห้องอัดเนาะกับแซมอินทรพิทักษ์มื้อนี้เฮามีรายการพิเศษเฮาจะนำคลิปสัมภาษณ์ของหมู่แซมเนาะที่ว่ามีห้องอัดอยู่เมืองนิวคาสเซิลประเทศออสเตรเลียเนาะชื่อว่ามิตะนอราดเนาะเป็นลูกซอดลาวออสเตรเลียเนาะพ่อเป็นออสเตรเลียแล้วก็แม่เพิ่นเป็นลาวฉะนั้นมื้อนี้แน่นอนการสัมภาษณ์จะเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเนาะก็เลยว่าจะมาขอโทษทุกคนหลายๆที่จะบ่สามารถได้เฮ็ดเป็นซับไตเติลให้เพราะว่ามันค่อนข้างเป็นการโอ้ล้มกันที่ว่าไวแล้วก็ยาวแล้วก็แซมส่วนตัวก็บ่มีเวลามาแปลแล้วก็ใส่ซับไตเติลนะก็เลยว่าให้ทุกคนผู้ใดที่ว่าขอโทษนำทุกคนที่ว่าผู้ใดที่บ่ค่อยเก่งภาษาอังกฤษปานใดก็พยายามลองเข้าใจเนาะทำความเข้าใจกับภาพต่างๆเนาะอีกอย่างนึงในตอนปิดรายการแซมก็สิมาอธิบายสำรวมคร่าวๆว่าเพิ่นได้เว้าหยังแน่เนาะได้แบ่งปันเทคนิคอย่างที่ว่าสำคัญจังได๋ก็ตามเดี๋ยวมารับชมกันเลยเนาะสวัสดีทุกคนอันนี้แม่นหมู่ของแซมเนาะมาจากซิดนีย์มาจากนิวคาสเซิลออสเตรเลียแล้วก็ชื่อมิตานอราดเนาะเป็นคนลูกซอดลาวออสเตรเลียแล้วก็เป็นโปรดิวเซอร์แล้วก็มีเจ้าของเป็นเจ้าของห้องอัดอยู่นิวคาสเซิลฉะนั้นมื้อนี้เฮารู้จักมิตากันว่าเรามิกซ์เพลงจังได๋อัดเพลงจังได๋แล้วก็เบิ่งว่าห้องอัดเราเป็นจังได๋เพราะว่าเราจะกลับไปนิวคาสเซิลแล้วก็ถ่ายวิดีโอมาให้เฮาเนาะSo, how are you, Mita?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Laos.
Thank
again.
you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Good
cool.
to be back.
Yeah. Basically, this is a program that we just introduced to Lao audience about recording and mixing and editing like that. So there's not much content about this stuff online for Lao people.
Yep.
So especially for those who don't speak English that well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it's a good opportunity because you're visiting Laos. Yep. So I'm taking this opportunity.And putting you on spot.
I'll try and keep my slang to a minimum.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
Okay, cool. So first of all, I wanted you to just introduce yourself in terms of like how did you get into producing music and recording and opening up a recording studio?
Well, I've been playing, like most recording engineers, I've been playing instruments forever, like since I was maybe 7-8 years old.So I started playing drums when I was about 8 I think, and then I worked my way through different instruments. Like I got quite good at drums, got bored with that. Started guitar, piano, bass, got bored with all that. And then like I'm a bit of a control freak, a bit of a well, I guess control freak is the best word. I think most recording engineers are. And I think I basically thought, what can I do?What can I do that is more like where I have more control than just playing an instrument? Yeah. Well, it's recording the band, you know.
Control freak.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. So like like basically
Sorry, Stevie.
That's my girlfriend. Yeah. I'm a good boyfriend, I swear.
Okay.
But yeah, like so basically I wanted to go beyond just playing an instrument. I wanted to experience what it was like to.create from start to finish, to be the player, the mixing engineer, the whole lot. And yeah, so basically I ended up buying my own gear. I got a little loan from my parents, which I think most people when you're very young, that's how you have to do it. They bought me a little like a 8-track digital like a Yamaha, like one of those tiny little things like in 2004 I think. And I started recording myself, my own band.And basically, it just grew from there. I was lucky that my parents built me a little room off the house, like a granny flat, where I could set up a control room and a drum room. It started as a practice space for myself to practice drums, and then I turned it into a little recording studio around a multi-core through the wall.
Nice.
Started with my own bands, people like that. Like they I was kind of lucky to be in a niche where there wasn't many other people doing what I was doing in Newcastle at the time. So I started recording other people's bands who liked the sound and didn't want to pay heaps of money to go to a big commercial studio, which in 2004 the gap between home studios and commercial studios was huge. Like you could either pay $100 a day or $10,000 a day, which is impossible for most musicians. So my passion basically grew from recording myself to friends' bands, and then it just snowballed. And then all of a sudden I was recording every band in Newcastle because they didn't want to go to Sydney, they didn't want to travel, and they liked what I was doing. So
it seems like my story is similar to yours as well in terms of like starting out. Like I guess like most musicians where they have studios at home or practice room at home, they would have to modify their parents' house some way. Put a hole through a wall or something like that, or like take the door out,
absolutely.
Or like, more doors.
Man, Stevie was saying on the way here, you and me are the same person, pretty much. Like the only difference is that I'm half loud, you're full loud.
It's funny, man. Right, please. So after that, so you started recording bands.
So I was in my parents' house from about obviously from the get-go until about I would have been about 21 or 22. I'm 31 now, and so from there I got sick of having people in my home, because my control room was my bedroom. Like I would have the desk here and my bed would be over there, and most of the time it was cool and it was my friends, but then I'd have strangers come in and they'd just go and like sit on my bed or just touch my stuff, and like after a certain amount of time, like bands would, how some bands, like most bands turn up late, but some bands would turn up way early and be here like an hour before the session, and I'm like in my pajamas, like eating. I'm like, man, come on, like all my own life. So I bit the bullet and I went to the biggest studio in Newcastle. That guy, the biggest studio was actually Tommy Rock, which is where I am now. Joel, my business partner, his partner had just left to move overseas. And so he was left on his own to run the studio, and he had just had his first child, so he was like overwhelmed with responsibility at the time, which happened to be fortunate for me because I needed a space to go. So I went and met with him, and we hit it off straight away, and basically I moved all my stuff from my parents' house into there, and that was his kid. I always measure how long I've been there by how old his child is. So I think his first son is 9 years old. Bailey, I hope I got that right. But I think it's been almost 10 years being there, like 9-10 years, and it's been difficult at times with keeping up with rent. Like rent in Australia is so high. Cost of living is high in Australia. But I mean, I'd rather do that than anything else. Like there's months when I don't make money, there's months when I'm in the red. But at the end of the day, it's my passion, and I'm good at it. So like
you can keep sustaining your
like just enough. Like I think sometimes I'm like hanging in there by the skin of my teeth. Other months I'm making good money, so it kind of balances out. And at the end of the day, I love it. Like I go to work early, like way earlier than I have to. Like some days I'm there at 7-8 in the morning, and we don't open till 10. And I'll leave.
So you're not an average musician then?
Sorry?
You're not an average muso then?
No. Not quite. But like I'm just really passionate about it, man. Like I genuinely love it. So I get there early, stay late, because that's all I want to do.
Cool, man. That's excellent. So how, like business-wise, like how are you finding? Are you managing it yourself? Like, are you talking to clients yourself?
Yes, I do everything, like from the recording to the books, bookings, cancellations, dealing with problem clients, all of it. Like I do it all.
Like invoicing and everything.
Everything. Like the only thing I don't do is accounting and bookkeeping, because I'm terrible with numbers. Like really bad. Like embarrassingly bad. Don't ask me anything above 1 + 1, please. So like so I do, like I hand that stuff off. Lately I've been trying to delegate work out, subcontract work, not because I don't want to do it, because I've found I'm so busy now that I'm better off spending my time where my skills are most valuable. So my skills are most valuable at the desk. Mixing, recording, that sort of thing. Booking's not my strong point. I hate editing. I hate it. So now I've got a guy. I started an intern about a year ago. And he came in and he had just finished audio college, and then he came and worked for us worked for us for about a year for free,
Yeah.
Just for experience, and he's so good. Now he's one of my best friends,
Nice.
and yeah, now I employ him. So he
Yeah.
does all my editing, vocal tuning, drum editing, mix prep.
Yeah.
Basically,
That's cool, man.
yeah. So I found that the mix prep side of things was killing my enthusiasm for audio. Like finishing a band, having to edit the drums, having to tune the vocals, edit guitars, line it all up. You know, that stuff. It's not fun, man. It's not, that's not audio. You know, like I found that even though I actually make less money with him on now, but I'm more impassioned. I'm more excited. I can give my all to the client 100% because I only do the bits that I want to do, you know.
Yeah.
So I found that even though it cost me money to have someone do that sort of stuff, I actually have more passion for my job now because I only get to do the things I like, which is win-win for everybody, you know.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same shoe at the moment, but I'm still sort of grinding at it, you know. Basically, I'm still doing my own edits and all that. But I feel the same way as you, you know.
Man, the internet's an amazing thing now. Like you could send it to my guy. Like it's that good. Like
true.
There's so many guys out there who offer just editing services. Like you don't even need to be in the same country. You don't even need to speak the same language. Like it's so good. You could send. Like we've got like my business partner. He does purely film, and he's trying to be a colorist, and so he might send stuff to people overseas to edit, or people overseas might send stuff to him to color. So. That the beauty of the internet, man, like you don't have to do that stuff, and there's always someone out there who's going to do it for cheaper than what you were willing to do it. Well, I grew up on heavy music, so like rock, metal, hardcore, things like that. I think a lot of that stuff hasn't actually made it to Laos yet. A lot of this is really kind of avant-garde, I guess progressive. Like a lot of progressive music is my favorite. So like I like prog metal, prog rock, even prog pop. I've been doing a little bit of hip hop lately, but
most of your clients have been metal bands.
Most of them are metal. Like most people, I'm known for heavy music. People come and see me for it's mainly metal, rock, punk, and hardcore.
So about recording metal, specifically like drum. Like how is recording metal drums different from other styles?
Well, stylistically, metal is completely over the top. Like how can I explain that better? When people think metal, they think loud. And so loud is not necessarily achieved with volume. You know, you can achieve that with things like distortion, aggression, like in the takes. So like my approach with drums, a lot of guys are using a lot of samples these days. I'm not a huge fan of samples because, well, first of all, everyone sounds the same because everyone's using the same samples. To me, it's like cheating. It's like, you can take an okay drum kit sound, you can chuck a sample on it, and you'll kind of sound like that record that you listened to last week. For me, it's cheating sounds like a rough word, but I would prefer to do it the natural way, which is make sure the drummer hits hard all the time. That's one thing that a lot of metal lacks, is that guys go into the studio think they can just like, and the engineer is going to make this sound real heavy. That's not the way it works. You need to hit really hard. Actually, I was playing in a metal band for a bit over 10 years, and I did so much wrist damage to both my hands from hitting so hard that I had to start strapping my wrists, change my technique. But people really liked the way I play drums because I hit so hard, and that's how you do it. Like there's no getting around it. So consistency is a big thing. The first thing I tell people is that tone comes from the player. It doesn't come from the instrument. It's not going to come from the engineer. It's not the room. It's not the gear. It's not the mics. It's the player. So like if you sat in a drum kit and you hit it, and I sat on the same kit, it would sound very different. Not saying that. But you know what I'm saying, right? So that's the first step, is making sure that your technique is right. Your rim shotting every time, or
rim shotting.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like it's like when I play drums, it's like this like it's over the top, but that's how you do it. That's how the best drummers get that slamming sound. So obviously, hitting hard, lots of compression. Metal to create energy in the music, you need lots of heavy compression, distortion, saturation.
Yeah.
I was talking to you before about my compression settings, so I tend to let a lot of attack through for punch, and then fast release for excitement, basically. So comes in and then that
snap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about miking? Like, do you?
Micing's a big thing for me. Like a lot of guys like the way I mic drums, particularly because I am a drummer. I know what drums are meant to sound like, and I've spent most of my years figuring out how to get the sound you hear in a room on a recording, because you know how hard that can be, right?
Yes.
So okay, well my miking setup is almost always a 57 of some sort, like whether it be an actual 57 or a Unidyne or like lately I've been using a Telefunken M80. Have you seen those before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got one of those. It's got a little bit more top end. It's a little bit more scooped. I honestly
top snare.
Top snare, yes. And then bottom snare is a 57. I used to mic like the top snares always kind of like this, depending on what I want out of it. Like more down is a bit more body. Across a little bit more snap. I found myself going more that way lately.
Right. Just pointing at the center of the drum.
Yeah, center of the drum, pretty much always. Except Tom's more to the edge, because you want more body out of the tom as opposed to tack. But again, it depends on the song, the genre, all that sort of stuff. And then a lot of guys will tell you that you need to have the bottom snare mic exactly in the same space for phase. I don't think that's true. I found lately that like this is how I started. Now I'm more like there. So down and up, because I find that you have when you're going across you get more sizzle, but when you're going straight up into the drum it's more crack. And out of a snare mic, bottom snare mic anyway, you just need that quick snap, you know. No one wants sustain from that bottom snare, like from a snare itself.
You want to
sounds gross. So that's my snare mic setup. Slam the hell out of it. Toms are pretty straightforward. I was micing top and bottom for a while, and that it's just overkill. Like it's cool, but most of the time in metal, it's so fast that you don't need that sustain from a tom. So tom micing is pretty straightforward. Overheads are always like above. I used to use small diaphragm condensers like a KM184. I've changed to AKG 414s or the warm audio copies. Because they're just cheap and they sound really good. So they're always equidistant from the snare. I always measure it. And then I'll spot mic hats and ride with, say, like the KM184s. They're great for that spot micing. Actually, an SM7 is really good for hi-hat too.
I saw Lars Ulrich use that.
Lars Ulrich. So like I really like the SM7 because it's really like that low, meaty kind of like attacky sound. It doesn't have much sustain to it. And then the magic is that I get is from my room mics. So before there, so the kick drum mic, I've used an RE20 for years.
For kick drum?
Inside kick drum. Because I did a recording with, do you know a guy named Steve Evans? He's done like Limp Bizkit, The Cure, like he's a big name. He's like one of my idols.
Producer or mixer?
Both. He's a producer, mixer. He's done the biggest names in like rock and metal. In LA, I took my band to see him for 2 months in 2009. Spent a lot of money, which was worth every fucking cent. Excuse me. Because I learned so much from him. I got so much respect for him as an engineer. He was using an RE20 at the time, so I haven't stopped using that ever since because I love what he does. But lately for metal, I've changed to a Shure Beta91. Do you know the boundary mics?
Yes.
Yeah, so inside they're really great because it's just a click and a sub, and that's all you really need. You know that sound of an Audix D6? You know how they're
really
super I mean, like Audix D6, it's just, for me, it's too restricting. Like you can't EQ that mic because it's already so EQ'd. But the Beta91 on the inside or the RE20, depending on the band or both.
And the kick out?
Kick out used to be a AKG D112, the egg. I hate that mic so much. I hate it. It's gross, man. It sounds like a cardboard box. It sounds like someone's kicking a cardboard box. It's gross. So like depending on the genre, if I want that kind of close, like if I'm doing like a 60s kind of like close like mic'd Beatles like kind of sound, I'll use that on the outside. But lately I've got like a like a big, it's usually a big tube mic on the outside, so it'll be a U47, U67.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Not a real one because I'm not made of money. Like it'd be a clone. So I've got like a U67 copy, and I've also got a C12 clone.
Cool.
The C12 is really cool because it's got a crazy low end, like a really big low end. So mixing those two together really nice.
How far do you position it? Like maybe
like never more than
like kick out.
Yeah, maybe a couple inches.
Okay.
Pretty much as close as I can get it without the skin hitting it. And lately I've been building a tunnel out of moving blankets. You know how like the removalist blankets?
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Really thick. Yeah. So I bought a couple of those for super cheap on eBay, and because they're super thick, they kind of stop all the room noise getting into the mic. So the gate works a lot easier. So I'll use that. I have a Yamaha sub kick that I was using for a while. Again, it's like an Audix D6 and it's super restricting. You can't do anything with it. Like you can't EQ it. Well, you could, but like I mean, it's just like that's what it sounds like.
Sometimes it doesn't even get that low.
No. I mean, it's cool. Like in some situations, it really works, but now it's just kind of decoration on my wall. So yeah, that. But the magic, the drum sound. I could probably show you a clip of some raw drums, but I have a pair of figure 8 ribbon microphones that I use in a bloom line setup. So bloom line is when you have a ribbon. For those of you who don't know, it's a ribbon microphone that has a figure 8 pattern which goes forward and then also backwards, and then you put another one on top, turn it so it's going sideways. So you're technically getting like a 360 degree capture of the room, and that's basically most of my drum sound comes from that. And if that's not enough room sound for me, I'll have 2 condensers in the corners of the room, maybe facing towards each other, not the kit.
Okay.
Depending if I want heaps of attack out of it or not. Usually room sound, you want it a bit diffused. So you might sometimes even face them away from the drum kit, you know, like to the walls. I've also got a hallway, which is kind of cool. So
I remember that.
I'll pop the door open, put a mic in the hallway. But most of the time, that Bloomland setup combined with actually I feel like I've missed that's the other one. No, I've missed a couple. Okay, so the Bloomland setup, that's really integral. The other one, I'm giving away all my secrets here. I'm going into business. So the next one is like the kick drum. I put a 57 between the skin of the kick drum and the floor tom facing the snare, and it gets so if you can imagine like kick drum here, snare drum, floor tom, like right there.
Pointing at the kick drum?
Pointing at the snare drum.
Oh, okay.
So it goes across the beater and it points at the snare drum, and it gets that like the attack from the kick and snare. It's perfect. It's like creating a parallel attack channel, but it's there already. 57 is perfect for that. And then the other one that is really integral is a large diaphragm tube condenser, usually U67 style, about a foot from the front of the kick drum. Slam that with, I use a purple MC77. And the Plugin Alliance recently brought out their plugin version of it, which sounds fantastic. It's the first 1176 emulation that I think is actually doesn't sound the same, but is the closest thing. Like I've used the CLA one for a while. I used actually no, it was just the Waves one. It was fine. Apparently the UAD make a really good one. I don't have UAD, but that Plugin Alliance bundle is amazing because it's worth it alone for that purple. It sounds really good. You can actually drive it.
You want to show us your picture of drum?
Yeah, cool. So
just put this on the inside.
I'll send you a couple photos of the studio, but this is a little picture of my drum room. I think there's a bigger photo of. So that's my
nice.
This has changed a lot since you were there last time. So this is all DIY. I've done this all myself.
Wow, that's nice.
You guys can do this at home for cheap. Like those big diffusers. Those big diffusers I made myself for cheap. Like I spent maybe under $500 and I made like 5 of them, and I did it in a day. Like, and I'm
those big ones there.
The big ones on the corners, and I'm not a tradie. I'm not like I'm not you know.
Handyman.
Not at all, man. And so anyone can do that stuff. So that's my amp collection.
That's nice.
So there's monitors.
Amps there.
this is my drum room.
It's looking nice.
It's a very
The red
yeah, that's changed.
Yeah.
The walls gone grey.
Okay.
We've changed the whole colours in the studio to grey and white, just a lot more neutral, way better for photos.
Yep.
That's a pretty flattering photo of the drum room just in how big it looks because it's a fisheye lens. But this, hang on, the next photo over is a little photo of my rack unit. Yeah, I mean, like that's changed a little bit.
Yep.
It's got nothing on yours, but but yeah. So this is my drum room. Just a shot taken from the doorway. You can kind of see what I was talking about with the space overheads. There's that ribbon that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
In the middle. This actually was a session. This not my session, but I helped mic the kit. This was my assistant Josh. He was running this session. But so he's got the kick in and out mic like I described.
Yeah.
You can see there. There's like got those snare mics, and I built little foam, just like cases, like kind of.
Just a hi-hat.
Yeah. Just to deal with cymbal bleed. Help.
You want to twist that mic mouse just to zoom in?
Oh yeah, I do. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so just to help with the gates, so they're not triggered by cymbals and things like that. Gating is a huge thing in metal. I'll hit that up next.
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about drum bass. So distresses, depending on the genre, I'll either run it at 6-1 or 20-1, which sounds crazy, but like it sounds really good. That's what. So distresses are an amazing compressor, man. It's the desert island compressor. If you have to have one, I would say it's the distressor. Like for vibe, nothing beats an 1176 in my opinion.
Yep.
But if I only could have one compressor, it would be the distressor, because like even with vocals, I'll record at like 2-1, and I'll compress anywhere between 10 to 20 dB, and you can almost not hear it.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can hear it, but but it's not like
it's musical.
Yeah, it's not insane.
Yeah.
So like with my drum bass, it'll be stereo distresses, and then it'll be an EQ. I used to go crazy with the EQ on the drum bass, and again, it's not the right approach. Some guys like that top-down approach. Start with really heavy EQ and then work your way backwards. I find if you get source right, you don't have to do much on your buses. So I'll dip a bit out. Low mids, usually metal. Typically, you don't want a lot of low mids because it kind of makes things sound muddy and messy. There's a lot of fast transients in metal. There's a lot of there's basically a lot of movement across the board.
Yep.
So low mids aren't good for that. So you want to like. I find that the 200 to 400 hertz range gets
scooped out.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Power drop.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, like I find that I use a combination of multi-band compressors. I love the Fab Filter bundle. Have you got Fab Filter?
Yeah, I've got just the EQ.
Oh man,
EQ.
Q3?
Yeah.
Dude, what an amazing tool.
Yeah.
Hey, like dynamic.
So many analysis.
Dude,
tools,
so many things. It can do so many things. It's like
copy EQ settings.
Dude, like that's a desert island EQ for sure. But when I found multi-band compression, that changed everything for me. So I'll use that on drum bass as well as a bit of an EQ, like an API style EQ.
Yep.
Slate EQs are really good for that. Just like tame that 2
What
to
are
400.
overheads like when you're mixing? Do you low cut a lot? Like what frequency do you low cut?
Okay, so that depends on. So if I'm doing rock, it's usually around somewhere between 80 and 120. I like to keep a bit of bottom end in for the natural. Natural drum sound, like the room sound for rock. But for metal, you can 200-300 sometimes.
Yeah.
Some guys go crazy all the way up to 500.
Yeah.
If you like it like that.
Depends, right?
Yeah, and it depends on the drummer too. Like if your drummer's really good, you don't have to do much work. But if your drummer's bad, like you need to cut all that out so that when your triggers don't, you don't you'll often like re-trigger stuff, and then if they're not hitting that well.
I know what you mean. Like a good drummer would mix himself.
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
exactly.
Hitting the snare like the.
That's what we were talking about before, like
crash
hitting
snare
out.
at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes like it crashes like he's hitting the soft. But the snare like really.
Yeah, there's a lot of like that kind of stuff's like man, it's crazy. But yeah, if you got a good drum, you don't have to worry so much.
Yeah.
But so distresses, I always compress then EQ. And then I might put another like finishing compressor on it just for a bit more vibe, maybe another 1176. I do a hell lot of parallel processing. So I'll have like parallel, as well as having distresses on the bus, I'll have parallel distresses, parallel 1176s.
Like you send all the drums out or just snare drums?
So usually it's close mics.
Yep.
The 1176 usually gets close mics and then 50% of the rest of them, just so it doesn't sound so separated.
Yep.
So you get a bit of like that cohesive glueness.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of sound toys. Do you use sound toys?
Some of it, yeah. Echo Boy.
Echo Boy, yeah. So yeah, I think I've got the entire bundle. There's one called Devil Lock.
Yep.
If you haven't used it, it's like a filthy compressor. It's like an 1176 with all buttons in.
Yep.
So I'll have that on its own, and I'll send the whole drum bus to that, and just bring it in to kind of glue the kit back together.
Yep.
Because often with all this close micing and all this stuff, it sounds separated, doesn't sound real anymore. So that's just to bring it all back together. That's pretty much it. If I want to dial a bit of the transients, I might put a tape plug in over the end of my drum bus, just for vibe and just to clean it up a bit.
Yeah. Do you ever send your snare to like more reverb, like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't even talk about reverb.
Yeah.
So I'll send up. Usually, I try and use like 1 or 2 reverbs for the whole mix. I don't like using like 10 reverbs because then you've got like 10 different spaces and it sounds weird. So ideally, I'll have a drum room reverb, a guitar room reverb, a vocal reverb, and then maybe one just an effects reverb, really long shimmery one, or like a slappy one, or something like that. And the drum reverb, I've gone from using Slate stuff to Lexicon stuff.
Yep.
I see you've got the real Lexicon units here, don't you?
Yeah, a couple of them. The PCM.
Woo! Yeah, that's the
Well,
one.
actually delayed.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, the PCM 48 I think is the really popular one.
Yeah.
I've just got the Lexicon, the plug-in version, and I haven't found anything that sounds as real as that. You know how like a lot of reverbs can sound just digital, like because they are digital.
Yeah.
But this one sounds real woody, real roomy.
Yeah.
Like it's got imperfections and inconsistencies that make it sound real, and I love that. I haven't found anything that can top that one yet.
What about bass? How do you approach recording bass and mixing bass?
In metal,
Yeah.
I usually just DI straight in, so then I can edit it perfectly. Because so much of metal is editing, is heavy editing. Like every like polished metal production that you've heard has been edited to hell.
Yeah.
Like so, bass obviously needs to be perfect with drums. Just for the bottom end to be solid, stable, consistent. And then a lot of metal that I deal with is like down-tuned, heavily down-tuned. Like it's rare to deal with anything that's above, say, drop B. So like a lot of bands drop C, drop B, drop A, drop G, like full D, like dude, like full like whole octaves down, and it's so hard to judge, for the ear to judge that low. So that sometimes you have to tune bass. I hate doing that, so I'll try and make sure the bass just plays right. Some guys like to split bass and treat it high end and low end. I'm not really a big fan of that. I like to do it on the way in, so I'll reamp the bass, split it, and I'll put a parallel distortion in the chain. So I'll have a mix, a wet dry pedal with a distortion going into an amp, and then mic the amp. So I do like Dark Glass have come out with a couple of pedals lately that are really good for metal.
So you've got like 3 signals. 3 different tracks in when you're mixing.
Sometimes
bass.
4, a lot of splitting with bass because it's hard to get clear top end and a solid low end at the same time from the same signal.
All right, cool. So what about guitar?
Guitar, okay. So
how do you record and mix?
All right, so it depends again on the genre, rock versus metal. They're pretty different approaches. Like rock, I try to keep things natural because that's typically what people are used to hearing is like just the sound of a guitar through an amp. These days, guys are in metal are using like amp sims. Axe Effects and Kemper is really popular now. I'm not a big fan. Like I think they have their place, and if you can make it sound great, that's good. But I've grown up on real amps, tubes. Like I'm obsessed with tubes. I've got them tattooed all over my body. So like that's the way I prefer to work. Not to diss amp sims, but I would prefer, like my favorite amp is a 5150. It's just it's just the staple. It's been the staple forever, and that's because they always sound good. It doesn't matter what you do. They always sound good. But my chain for recording guitars lately has been the 5150 into a Mesa 412, just the rectifier cab. It's got vintage 30s in it. It's the most neutral sounding cab that I found. Orange cab has the same speakers, but they're so dark. It's really hard to get definition out of an orange. On the other end, Marshall cabs are really pokey in the upper mids, which makes it really hard to get a smooth sound. Mesa I found are the most clean and consistent for guitar cabs. I've got a mate who plays in a really massive band called Died is Murder. He's actually put me onto those cabs because he, like, in my mind, he's like guitar god, so I listen to everything he says.
Cool.
So
and what mics do you have in front of the cabinet?
It's always a 57. I've been digging for a few years the Friedman technique, or Friedman. So basically that's so if you've got speaker like that, one mic just on the edge of the cone, and I always get confused with cone and
middle
dust cap, or anyway,
dust cap,
the cap. So we'll call this the cap. Right on the edge, like, and then sometimes a little bit in, because usually you don't really want super bright guitars in metals. You want mainly the brightness to come from your drums and vocals, really. Guitars are filling the low mids and creating that energy. So I have one there. The Friedman technique is basically, I need two hands for this, so that's where that one's going to be, and then the other mic is like 45 degrees on axis, pointing inwards. That second mic creates this really fuzzy, gross sounding like a buzzsaw kind of effect. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Thanks, man. Well, thank you, Mita,
Man, my
for
pleasure.
visiting our studio in Laos, all the way from Newcastle.
Yeah, thanks for letting me talk at you.
And if you want to leave your last words to our audience or your friends in Newcastle.
No, I think I've said enough.
All right, thanks, Mita.
Thank you very much, bro. Alright, hello to my Lao family. I'm back in Australia in my studio. Give you a little tour. So I'm starting in my mix room. So here you can see it's pretty simple. Not much happening other than monitors and a well treated room. It's really all you need for a good mix space. Couple little extras here and there, but you know, nothing that plugins can't do. That's arguable, isn't it? Anyway, so let's keep going. So I'll take you to the control room. So this is where we do most of the tracking. When I say most, I mean all. So here's my rack, couple little empty spots there, got to fill those. Old, I believe it's called a Dynamix something 1000 console, which is like this old relic from the 80s. Pretty cool, pretty vibey. My amp collection, what have we got? Guitars over here, some DIY built diffusers, deflectors and absorbers and what have you. Yeah, vibe's pretty important to me, so this room is like feels good. It's pretty vibey in here. Alright, let's keep going. My vocal booth, pretty dead space. Lots of treatment. Actually, if I come in here, you can hear that it does sound quite dead in here compared to the other rooms. Foam has a lot to do with that. You don't really need much to soak up vocal frequencies because they're so high. Guitar cab. This is also my guitar and bass miking amp room. I've got like a little multi-core here going through the wall. Speaker outputs, headphones, blah blah blah. So yeah, this is where I usually record vocals and guitar, and there's a nice window there so we can communicate. Moving on, here's all my gold records. Just kidding. Kitchenette for the essential coffee, which everyone needs all the time. This is my pride and joy, my drum room, and 1969 Ludwig drum kit. I can't remember which one it is. They're all good. Yeah, again, I built all like everything you see here I built myself by hand for very cheap. So you can do this yourself at home if you have the time. And I'm not a handy guy, so you know, anyone can achieve this if you're dedicated. Here we have my mic collection that it always lives on their stands, so that they're always ready to go. I'm not a really big fan of having mics in closets. Just because it means I need to pull them out, and if they're away, I'm probably not going to use them. So I like having everything ready to go. so that yeah, ready for action anytime. And actually, let's go just out front quickly and show you the reception area where the clients will hang sometimes. We're on the main road, so noise is a bit of an issue sometimes, having lots of glass and all that, but it also means we get a lot of foot traffic, high visibility, and you know what? I reckon that's it. Thanks very much.
เป็นไงทุกคนกับการสัมภาษณ์มูแซมมิตะโนราชเนาะกับห้องอัดเพิ่นอยู่ที่เมืองนิวคาสเซิลในสุดท้ายเพิ่นก็กลับไปแล้วเพิ่นก็ถ่ายเนาะดังที่เห็นนั่นแหละถ่ายสตูดิโอทัวร์เพิ่นทัวร์สตูดิโอผ่านทางโทรศัพท์เพิ่นเนาะให้เบิ่งแซมก็ได้มีโอกาสได้ไปเยี่ยมเพิ่นนั่นแหละในตอนประมาณ 2-3 ปีก่อนถ้าชื่อบ่ผิดเนาะพอดีไปเยี่ยมพี่น้องอยู่ออสเตรเลียอยู่ซิดนีย์ก็เลยว่าพากันขี่รถขึ้นไปนิวคาสเซิลไปยามเพิ่นประมาณ2ชั่วโมงเนาะขี่รถจากซิดนีย์ไปฮอดนิวคาสเซิลก็คือสิ่งที่เพิ่นได้เว้ามาเนาะแบ่งปันก็คือการอัดเพลงของเพิ่นเนาะเทคนิคต่างๆการวางไมค์บ่ว่าจะเป็นการอัดกลองเนาะการใส่ไมค์ต่างๆแบบริบบอนบ่การวางไมค์รูมเนาะที่เป็นสเตอริโอนั่นการวางโอเวอร์เฮดการตีกลองแบบอัดกลองต้องตีหนักๆเนาะเพิ่นว่าตีเบาๆมันก็แน่นอนก็แล้วแต่เพลงแต่ว่าส่วนหลายเพลงที่เพิ่นเฮ็ดจะแม่นหรือว่าอัดน่าจะแม่นร็อกหรือว่าเมทัลเนาะส่วนหลายฉะนั้นเวลาเพิ่นพูดก็เป็นมือกลองแน่แล้วก็เวลาอัดกลองก็แม่นเน้นให้ตีแห้งๆเนาะแล้วก็คล้ายๆว่ามือกลองนั่นก็ต้องมิกซ์ตัวเองไปนำในตัวแต่ว่าไฮแฮทนี่ก็ต้องตีเหมาะสมกับสแนร์บ่แม่นว่ามือขวานี่สิฟาดบูดอยู่แล้วมือซ้ายนี่สแนร์บ่ค่อยออกเลยสินะมือกลองก็ต้องมีน้ำหนักแล้วก็รู้จักมิกซ์ตัวเองเข้ากับเพลงเนาะมานั้นอันนั้นจุดสำคัญที่เป็นเว้ากับการอัดกลองนำแล้วก็เทคนิควางไม้ต่างๆนั่นแหละแล้วก็การอัดกีตาร์เนาะวางไม้ได้ก็มีรูปที่เพิ่นได้แสดงให้เห็นนั้นจากเว็บไซต์ของเพิ่นเนาะแล้วก็การมิกซ์เนาะการมิกซ์ตัวหลายเพิ่นก็มิกซ์เองมิกซ์อยู่ในคอมหลายใส่พลักอินหมดเลยเนาะ 80% แล้วก็จะส่งมาสเตอริงให้คนอื่นส่งให้ส่งไปมาสเตอร์นำมาสเตอริงเอนจิเนียร์อีกคนนึงเนาะจะบ่ได้มาสเตอร์เองเพราะว่าเพิ่นเห็นความสำคัญว่าเพิ่นอยากให้อีกคนนึงฟังซอยว่าซั่นซะบ่แม่นเพียงแต่ว่าอันมาสเตอร์ให้ซื่อๆแต่เป็นหูอีกคู่นึงที่ว่าฟังซอยอีกรอบนึงก่อนที่เพลงนั้นจะสำเร็จสมบูรณ์แบบนั่นก็เป็นจุดสำคัญอีกจุดนึงเนาะที่ว่าแซมเองก็เคยลองเนาะจริงๆเคยลองส่งไปมาสเตอร์อยู่ของอัดอยู่อังกฤษแน่แล้วก็อยู่ฝรั่งบ่มีคนหนึ่งส่งไปมาสเตอร์ลิงแล้วจริงๆพวกนี้ก็เป็นคนมาสเตอร์ลิงที่ว่าค่อนข้างมีชื่อเสียงเนาะเพราะว่าเขาเจ้าก็มีช่อง YouTube ของเขาเจ้าเองเนาะมีดร. Mix แน่แล้วก็มี Streaky เนาะแล้วก็ส่งไปแล้วก็เขาเจ้าส่งกลับขึ้นมาก็มันก็รู้สึกว่าบ่แฮงพอทอมาตรฐานสากลเท่านั้นบ่ฮู้ว่าเป็นส่วนตัวเฮามิกซ์ไปแล้วเฮามิกซ์บ่ดีบ่หรือจังได๋แล้วเขาเจ้าบ่สามารถเฮ็ดให้มันแฮงขึ้นได้บ่หรือว่าจังได๋แต่ว่าเวลาแซมมามาสเตอร์เองก็ค่อนข้างแฮปปี้กับสิ่งที่ตัวเองเฮ็ดหลายกว่าที่ว่าได้รับจากเขาเจ้ามานะก็เลยลองทั้ง2เทื่อนั้นก็เลยว่าย่าแหละมาสเตอร์เองเนาะมาสเตอร์เองซะบ่ฮู้บางเทื่อในอนาคตอาจจะลองอีกคนอื่นๆเบิ่งเนาะคันว่าคันเจอคนที่เหมาะสมแล้วก็มักก็สิอาจจะต้องเฮ็ดตามระบบสากลกับเจ้าเฮ็ดนั่นแหละเฮามิกซ์อยู่นี่แล้วก็ส่งมาสเตอร์บอนอื่นน่าจะได้รับผลที่ว่าอาจจะดีกว่าเนาะแต่ว่าในปัจจุบันก็รู้สึกว่าตามประสบการณ์ที่เคยส่งให้คนอื่นมาสเตอร์นั้นบ่ค่อยมักสิ่งที่เจ้าส่งกลับคืนมาแล้วมักสิ่งที่ตัวเองมาสเตอร์หลายกว่าจังได๋ก็ตามเนาะอันนั้นก็แม่นสัมภาษณ์บทสัมภาษณ์ทุกคนอาจจะได้กลับคืนไปเบิ่งหลายๆรอบเนาะเพื่อจะอาจจะเข้าใจตื่มมันมีมุกมีหยังแน่เฮาโยนใส่กันแน่เนาะผู้ดีตอนนั้นก็มีแฟนเรามานั่งลิ้นนำในอยู่ข้างหน้าข้างหลังกล้องพี่แล้วบางเทื่อก็โยนมุกไปหาแฟนเราแน่มีเทื่อนึงคั่นบางคนที่ฟังทันก็จะเข้าใจมุกเนาะผู้ใดก็ฟังบ่ทันก็แม่นพลาดมุกลงไปก็อาจจะต้องได้กลับคืนไปเบิ่งหลายๆเทื่อจะเข้าใจก็เอาไว้เทื่อหน้าคันเรามาหย่าใหม่ก็สิขอสัมภาษณ์เราตื่มแล้วอาจจะให้เราโซการ เซตอัพไมค์บ่อย่างต่างๆก็อาจจะเป็นไปได้เนาะจังได๋ก็ตามให้ทุกคนติดตามรายการเฮาเนาะ Inside the Studio Inside the Studio หรือว่าในห้องอัดทางโซเชียลมีเดียต่างๆบ่ว่าจะเป็นInstagram Facebook YouTube แล้วก็ตัวนาซอยกัน Subscribe เนาะพวกเฮาก็เดี๋ยวนี้ที่ผ่านมาก็ฮอดพันกว่า Subscriber แล้วเนาะก็อีกอย่างนึงก็เฮาอยากเฉลิมฉลองเนาะเพราะว่าได้รับ1,000 Subscriber สำหรับพวกเฮาแล้วช่องที่เว้าเกี่ยวกับวิชาเฉพาะที่ว่าน้อยคนที่จะเข้าถึงหรือว่าจะมักภาษาทางนี้แล้วฮอด1,000 Subscriber ได้นี่ก็ถือว่าเป็นความสำเร็จผลที่ว่าน่าภูมิใจสำหรับพวกเฮาแล้วก็ขอบใจทุกคนที่ว่านี่แหละติดตามมาโดยตลอดก็จะมี mixing contest เนาะซึ่งได้เว้าผ่านมาในหลาย EP นี่แหละก็คืออยากย้ำอีกเทื่อนึงเนาะก็เฮาก็จะเปิดรับสมัครไว้นี้เนาะก็คือให้ทุกคนได้เปิดมาสมัครทาง Facebook ของเฮาและข้อมูลต่างๆจะโพสต์ลงเพจของเฮาทาง Facebook เกี่ยวกับการสมัครกติกาต่างๆรางวัลต่างๆว่าจะสมัครไปจะได้อย่างประมาณนั้นแล้วก็ระยะเวลาที่เฮาจะให้ในการสมัครมื้อใดจะได้ประกาศผลต่างๆแม้ข้อมูลจะออกทาง Facebook แล้วก็จะทาง YouTube ตื่มอีกเนาะขอบใจทุกคนหลายๆเจอกัน EP ต่อไป